Good morning, gentlemen. So today is Decision Day 2024. And I'm not saying that just because of the fact that it's Election Day. Although I will encourage you to get out and vote, and here's why. If you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain. Keep your mouth shut. Be man enough to do that. If you're not man enough to make sure you got out and filled out your ballot for those who are going to represent us. You know, that's like, well, what are we doing? We're playing a game here. You know, so like belly aching about how our sports teams are playing when you're in high school, but yet you refuse to even go try out. You know, or you refuse to go support them, or whatever the case may be, however you want to see. If you're not contributing to it, okay, then you're one of two things. You're either part of the reason things are wrong, because you could have been what helped bring things around to being right, but even if you're not that kind of impactful individual, okay? I certainly wasn't on most sports teams, but I did my part by contributing as an athletic trainer. Then you ain't. But if you're not contributing in some form or fashion as a fan or you know, part of the team or whatever, then shut up. And the same thing when you don't get out and vote. If you don't help elect, or at least try to do your part to elect those that will represent us both, you have no right to complain. Now, enough of my lecture. That was about a 2-minute lecture, whether you liked it or not. It's because it's important. Because today, this is Decision Day 2024. A lot of teams in this country here, and that is in the NFL, are making decisions that have to be finalized by today as far as the deals being signed on, agreed upon. This is the last day of the trade within the NFL this year. You, on the other hand, have a few more days. If I remember correctly, since today is the 5th, 17 days from now, the 22nd, so you got about 2.5 weeks to put forth any trades that you desire to make with someone else and get that finalized. So, time is ticking. Time is ticking. This is significant and important because I was looking this morning, and did you know that, 2 weeks ago, we still had a team that was 0-7 and was like so far behind everybody, it wasn't even funny. And now that team is 2-7, and like 2 or 3 other teams have joined them. And 5-4 will now get you into the playoffs, and 4-5 has you on the outside looking in. And there's about, if I remember correctly, about 3 or 4 teams at 5-4, and the same thing at 4-5. Remember, there was a team that had been on a 7-0 run. That came to an end this weekend by a team that a week ago was 4-4 and was not, well, let's just be blunt about it. Last year, Tommy ran up to 8-0 and didn't win the championship before he got lost. I lost the first weekend to Rico and hadn't lost since until this last weekend to Mario, who was struggling at 4-4. So, goes back to the old cliche, Want to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. My point is, none of us are out of it yet. Don't give up. Kind of like that thing, get out and vote. Well, if you're not going to participate, I want to hear about it next year. When, I don't know. I'm at a point that people are not going to really truly participate, especially after they requested to be, to join the league. I understand we all have lives and things are much more important, especially with y'all's lives than this is. I get that. But like I said, 5 minutes each time, once every week, it's not that much, especially right before Thursday night football and Sunday morning or late Saturday night, however you want to do it. And maybe check it again on Monday evening when you first get home. You give it a couple minutes all week long. That's all you got to do. Just stay on top of your lineup and let it roll. See what happens. Like I said, don't ask in particular to join something and then not participate. And don't be surprised, like I said, when the season's over, if you haven't contributed the way you should, that, it's at a point. I think I've thrown it out there before. If people are not going to contribute, be tuned in enough to actually make it enjoyable not only for themselves but everybody else, because it's not fair for you to decide to just suddenly getting interested, after you managed to rattle off a few wins by accident when you weren't paying attention. Oh, now I might have a shot. No. What about those other weeks when you weren't paying attention and you were giving away losses, giving up wins to other people? That's not right to everybody else. So my point is, kind of at a juncture now, I think going forward every year, at the end of the year or before the beginning of the year, we will have a team ownership vote as to who will be invited back. Not on everybody, but those that it's evident that may have not been really that engaged. Those few names may be thrown up. Please, let us not bring it to that. Let's just be engaged. 5 minutes out of your week. That's all. Like I said, that's how we need to all approach everything in life. And I personally need to listen to my words more than anybody. I'm trying to get back to having a life instead of existing, because my attitude hasn't been where it needed to be. Like I said, if you can give up on something as simple as this, I'm telling you, that's how you get to where I am now, where you're fighting to get back to just caring about it, something as simple as this. Because it's not real hard once you give up on one small thing in life that you supposedly committed yourself to. It won't be long before you're giving up on things that are more significant in life. And then you find yourself giving up on life in general. Again, didn't want to get too soapboxy today. Maybe I did. At this point, not gonna re-record this. I'm gonna simply tell you, priorities on the waiver wire have been adjusted for the last half of the season to benefit those with the losing records. So be paying attention to what happens week in, week out. See who you can pick up off the waiver wire. Or somebody, because unfortunately, injuries will continue to happen. Players that were not heard of a week ago will step up and finish out the rest of the season. So just keep that in mind. Enjoy the rest of our season. Just go ahead and remind you, get you Look at all those things you're thankful for in life and get ready to be with those that you're thankful for as Thanksgiving is approaching. And today, do your part if you're going to open your mouth. Get out and vote.